here we have a data set in which each case, and by case I mean each row, is classified or grouped into a particular group. So groups here can be anything, can be cities, states, companies, countries, etc. Most of the times when we work with this group, sometimes you want to aggregate the values. You don't want to work with the individual cases, but you want to work with the aggregated cases. In this case, we can, instead of working with this many rows, we need to end up working with 3 groups, as is in this example. You could aggregate this using pivot tables, but when you have this many columns, as in this case, pivot tables might not be an easy option. So let's do it manually. So locate the last observation of the first group, and let's separate these groups, the group A from group B. Let's insert 3 rows. You can click on the number of the row, and that selects the row, and then click drag and down. Right click and then insert. Go to the end of this next group, so select the rows, right click, and then insert. Let's start adding some labels. This is going to be group A, this is going to be group B, and this is going to be group C. So at the end of the first column that has the values, so select that cell and let's insert the function sum. So in this case, we are going to aggregate this data by adding all the individual values that belong to a particular group. You can also take the mean, the standard deviation, whatever metric you need, you can just select the function for that. So after the function sum is activated, you select the values that correspond to group A for the first column, close parentheses, and press enter. So that gives you the total for that column. The next step is to copy the values. Here you can actually drag this all the way to the end if you want. An easy way will be to go to the end of the columns, or select the last value, select the last cell of the row where we are going to add the aggregates, and let's just put an X in there. So we are marking the last spot. So with control, you can go back to the beginning of the row by pressing the control key and the left arrow. So that takes us back to the beginning. Now let's copy the formula. So control C, go to the next empty cell. Now press the key, the control and shift key. I'm using Windows machine here, so control shift and then the arrow to the arrow to the right, and that selects everything to the end of the data set. And then in the menu, you can click paste or Control V as in Victor. If you have a Mac, you can use Command V. So that copies all the formulas right there. So let's go to the next one. So here you do equals again, sum, open parentheses, select the values, close parentheses, enter. Go to the last observation for that group, and then press the control key and arrow to the right. That takes you to the end of the data set. If you have a Mac, probably you need to press command and then the arrow key to the right. Let's mark the spot for the last cell there with an X. Then control left arrow to go back to the beginning. Command C, move to the next cell. Control shift arrow to the right, or command if you have a Mac. And then just press Control P as in Victor. And that copies all the formulas. Let's do the last one. So equals, sum, open parentheses, select the array. I'm going to have to do this manually because groups have different number of observations. Press, let's X, Control left arrow, Command C, Control Shift right arrow, and V. So we copy all the formulas. Now, since we already aggregated the data, we no longer need the individual cases. The problem is that if we delete those cases, the formulas are gone. So keep in mind that whenever you have a formula, for you see the value. In this case, we see 446 for this cell, but for Excel, this is a reference cell, so it's a sum. So this value depends on these other values. So we need to convert. These raw formulas to values. To do that, select the entire row by clicking on the raw number on the left. So just right click, copy, and if you go to the menu where you can see the icon for paste, you can actually paste values by clicking paste values, or go to paste special, select values, and then OK. You go back to the cell, now it's 446 for you and it's 446 for Excel. So the formulas are gone. Let's do the same thing for the next one. So right click, copy, go to paste, and then I'm going to just paste values. Select the next one, right click, copy, paste, and paste values. So now all the formulas are gone. Now we're free to actually delete anything we want without affecting the values that we want to have. So let's select the rows that we don't need. So just right click and then just click delete. Right click and delete. Right click and delete. And then we have our data aggregated.